Can you guys see us? Cool. We will have a survey.
Cool.
Great. I guess you get it. You got it.
Our goal is to be the most unique presenters out here.
Great. This is a PG-13 rated session. We're going to use words like shit. The word just, maybe not be safe if you're at home with your 8-year-old, which I was a few minutes ago.
You didn't have to say it out loud.
Well,
I mean, they can read. They can read. Yeah. All right.
You're telling me you're not going to use any words like that.
I've been known to slip a lip.
Yep. All right. And so we have slides. I like, let's see.
The new Verbella controls.
I like the screen zoom main stage because then you can see the video of us and you can also see the slides.
You're talking to the audience right now.
I am.
Okay, good deal. All right.
Yeah.
So what you said? What the screen zoom main stage, which is the fourth one to the right?
Yes.
Okay, good. The button's up top. Okay.
I think
Phil, that's Phil.
I'm Phil. Nice. We need a badge.
Jeff.
I don't have a badge.
No.
I'm Phil. Sometimes I have a. Sometimes I wear a name tag when we do these, but.
He's just the taller guy.
I'm the one that wears a button down, and he's the one that wears a polo
shirt.
In
reality, we're this tall, which makes us,
we kick a stool over for Jeff when we present together.
But we thought it'd be funny if I just presented like this.
All right, and we're in, I apologize for the humor. I know that we're looking for a very serious presentation today, which we're gonna get, but we're just buying a little bit of time. Commander was late getting into the main room, and I know that his presentation was solid stuff. It was hard for me to peel away from it and come into here. And so we're just, when we were talking with Curtis and with Candace about when we should start, if we should delay, they said, just do some housekeeping in the beginning and let people trickle in. So here we are. Thanks, Frank. Awesome. Appreciate it. I am, Jeff and I are believers that although the world is awesome, there's a human connection that happens when you can see our enthusiasm.
Is that your way of talking human?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No, using the video of us.
Oh, okay, good.
I think that's why. Is that what you were referring to, Frank? That the video of us is awesome? Yeah.
Awesome.
Great. So I just think that this is a better way to I don't know, get to know us.
I can feel the energy.
This almost looks live.
It is live. We did not record this. We did not pre-record this, but I appreciate. I know what you mean. Awesome. So we're just going to give it a few more minutes. What I'd like to do is, happy to answer any questions that you guys may have as we get this thing going. I'm probably going to delay until.
I guess the question that we have for the audience is everybody new to a city or a new agent in the room? Can we see some comments? Yes, no, or you just couldn't wait to hear us speak and you're both awesome? Outstanding. All right, good deal. So can you put in the chat like what move new to small mountain town? Perfect. I'm from a small mountain town, so I think this is going to go good, right? 5 years in a new city feels new. Okay, good deal. How about the city, you guys? Like, can we see the different cities you're in? An aspiring agent. Thanks, Cameron. All right, so California. So my favorite question for the audience is, how is the supply in your city? So is your supply, so you can go when it's low, but low, tell me, is it 1 month, 2 months, 3 months supply, 4 months supply? There are no houses, Tim. Nice.
That's low.
That's low. Yes. 0 houses for sale. 1 week supply, 1 month supply. Okay. So the quiz for those that showed up early as I run around the stage. Thanks, Phil.
Well, I just had to go to the other room to see. They're in the Q&A session on the main audience.
Okay, good deal. All right. So the question I have, why is the supply so low? Maybe that's why you're here to learn, but why is the supply so low? I'm looking for we like to go Family Feud style, and that's like, some answers are better than others. Great question. Hot market is low supply creates a hot market, but what creates low supply? So let's see, afraid you won't find another home. Yeah, but that's kind of low supply happens before people get scared they won't find a home, because when there's medium supply, people aren't scared. So there has to be something that caught. What
causes low supply in our market?
Well, I'm trying to get audience.
Frank, it's a bad echo with your mic off, man. I don't know why. Sorry.
Okay, interest rates. That's Family Feud style. That'd be like number 4 or 5 out of 6, maybe. Let's see. Scared sellers again. That's
That's like asking why is EXPI stock up 8% today, Jeff?
Well, the reason why EXP stock is up because we had a blowout quarter. We made 20 cents a share when the street thought we were going to make 6 cents a share, and that we profited, was it 24 or
28 million?
28 million, right? So when you're profitable by 28 million, they believe that you're a good company. And also because all the short sellers that were in the stock for Verbella got out. So now all the selling is done, and now they have to cover their shorts. So we're getting a spike today. So good deal. All right, back to the question, Phil. I'm still looking for people are uncertain, mass exodus from California. That would not be the reason for low. Oh, well, I guess
that's demand. That
causes demand. But I'm looking for not enough new homes. Who is that? Dave Weigel? Weigel. Well done, Dave. Where are you at? That is part of the answer. Yes. So
what market are you in, Dave?
I'm on the north side of Orlando.
Nice. Okay. North Orlando.
Yeah.
Is that 407?
Yes. And 352.
Yeah. Oh, 352. That's the new one. All right. Good deal. Well, so Dave is right. Thank you for your answer. And we have underbuilt the amount of homes while the population continues to grow. So I know in our state and a lot of other states that I follow, the building has not ever got back to where it was in 2004 and 2005 when homes were overbuilt, and then we led to a glutton of supply. But now, because the builders are not building enough houses because they were more conservative, they weren't buying land because land's too expensive. And there's another reason that I haven't seen waiting for elections. Yeah, I think people were scared of the elections. High demand, yes, high demand does eat up supply, but I'm looking there's another major reason for those fans.
Let's get there. Let's get there. Okay. Let's get after it.
All right. So the answer is people are living in their houses longer. So in 15 years ago, the average person only lived in their house 5 years. And now people are staying in their houses longer. And that is causing less supply, because if people don't move, then there's not available supply.
I just want you to know that stat, Jeff, today is a big day at NAR. Do you know why? Do you know what's released today at 10 a.m.?
The annual report.
The annual home buyer and seller guide. Yes. And so Dr. Jessica Louts, who is
she was on our podcast. We run a podcast.
Yeah, we had her on our podcast about a year ago. Maybe it was 2 years
ago.
2
years ago, yeah.
That she was talking about the trends from the report. And so when she announced,
she works for Lawrence Yoon, who's
at NAR,
the
chief
economist, and she's the underling and the director of.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see what the new number is that comes out in that report.
And the reason why Phil says that is because I get the number from that report, and that is the NAR puts out a report each year. They interview. I think they try to interview 7,000. I think is the number of people they try and. So what they do is they send out about 30 or 40,000.
We've got a lot of content today.
Yes. Okay. All right. Yes. Sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Good deal.
I know that if we're gonna get
this could be helpful. I mean, is it not? I mean, we're educating as we're talking. Sorry.
Well, lots of
he's picking on me. Lumber costs increase.
Phil, you just repeated exactly what I'm hearing on a video. Another
understand.
video that someone sent us.
About what?
About what Bill was just talking about.
Oh, that's Jeff.
That's me. I'm Jeff.
Oh, Jeff, I got you guys backwards.
You're good.
The name badge.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it'll be easier.
Is that Phil?
Oh, no. Okay. All right.
Jeff and Phil.
All right.
All right, we'll go. A lot of echo here, you guys. All right, so can I get somebody to double the echo? Because I only hear it when audience members participate, chat, talk. Does anybody else get the echo when it's just us talking? Do you hear an echo right now? No. Okay, great. Thank you.
I get the echo when I talk.
I get the echo when anybody from the audience talks. So here we're going to start the show. Let's start the show with a little bit of housekeeping actually. And so if I click on this slide, that let me change screens. Doesn't look like that. So let me go. Stage control. Sorry, we're going to do housekeeping right now. And that is one, please.
And then we'll start the event.
Let's keep the mics, main stage, podium. Let's keep the mics on mute.
So
Okay.
do we want to say welcome to this class is about if you're a new agent or you move to a new city, what are the top, we're going to give you 5 major tips to boost your sales, right?
Yes.
Like to get after it. Okay.
Well, the reason why this session came to fruition is because Jeff and I are halfway through teaching an 8-week home selling series in EXP University. We're into, I think we're about to teach week 4. And what has come up in the first few weeks is that the participants in the audience reach out to us one-on-one and they say, hey, I'm moving to a new town. What should I do first to get started? Or, hey, I just, I'm leaving this marketplace and I'm going over to this marketplace. And once you hear that question more than once, and it starts to become a trend that people are asking it, we thought, let's just do a whole panel on it, or let's just do a whole presentation on it, where we'll put our heads down and we'll figure out what are the things that we would do if we were moving to a new town, what are the things that we would focus on. And then it caused us to even look deeper into the team and the agents that we have trained over the years. And what do they do? The ones that are successful, what did they focus on? And so we're going to get into all of that today. And so the first thing, though, as far as housekeeping goes, is please make sure you keep your mics muted, because when the audience talks, it has that bad echo. But please use the chat. If you have questions, if you have comments, concerns, use the chat. And if you guys wouldn't help us crowdsource answers, sometimes what happens is people come into the audience and they ask questions or that have been either already asked or it's technical support questions. So if you see those in there and you guys want to help each other out, that's very helpful from our standpoint to make sure that we're able to get through all of the content today. Can I get a thumbs up in the chat if we're all on the same page there? Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, so Sibbach, the intro for this class, I don't know, did you see that I added a few of the success stories of agents that moved markets?
I think that the best way to help people is to educate them on that we're not new at this, right? That we are in the business in helping, because we work out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and it is definitely a place where there's tons of turnover and lots of new agents joining, right? Like, so now in Arizona, we got a little over 50,000 agents. We only have 100,000 sales, and that it's very competitive, like a lot of the neighborhoods, because NAR keeps promoting more new agents, and a lot of you in the room, but know that you have to have a strategy in how to grow your business. And we wanted to talk about some of the, in 2013, when we started a team, because one of the things we're going to get to is...
Let's talk a little bit about us.
Okay.
Right? So about us is we're based out of Scottsdale, Arizona. We run a team. It's called the Sibbach team. And actually, the next slide shows that we got an award yesterday, which was awesome. But before we go on, for those that haven't taken a class from us before, Jeff is the Drew Carey lookalike.
Yes, Drew Carey. Okay.
When he was when you would be meeting buyers that came in from out of state and you'd meet him at Starbucks, you'd say, just look for the guy that looks.
Yeah. And amazingly, no one has ever not found me. Like, I can be in an airport, I can be at a sports stadium and people could find me.
Yes. And then I joke that the fact that I'm an SOB, right? I am a son of a broker. My dad was a broker in the Valley for, I don't know, since 1980. And he is the past president of the Arizona Association of Realtors, the Phoenix Association of Realtors. He's the past chairman of the Arizona Regional MLS. And so I come from a position of leadership and volunteering in this industry. And I love giving back, and I love just this.
Sorry, I'll slow down.
Jeff is moving too much.
Yeah, I get excited.
You get that feedback every once in a while.
Yeah, I tend to move too much. Sorry.
So yesterday on the main stage, Curtis, during the award session, gave us the Presidential Production Award. And that was because for a mega icon team, we did more production than any other mega icon teams in the company, except for two people, Dan Beer and Andrew Franklin.
And their teams.
And
right?
they're
'Cause we're not doing
teams.
it alone, right?
Yes. And
okay.
we're a team too. So I don't know if anybody was in there yesterday, but what we really want to focus on, what we try to focus on and bring to our sessions is that we're in the business doing this today. This isn't something that we did 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ivy. This is something that you're on a listing appointment last night. We're talking to buyer leads that come from our website today. Like, we are in it now. And so,
And we focus on selling houses, and unfortunately, we came in third out of all the big teams. But
I know.
yes, yeah,
That's
but,
good. It's
okay,
good to shoot for.
Okay.
It's good to have people
Right.
that you're chasing.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Dan, for leading the way.
Yes, awesome. So as we get into the session today and our 5 main points, I want to start with a couple of stories of agents that have joined us from different markets. And one of them named Sharon Wisniewski, and it was 2013 when she was an agent in Illinois. And so I ask you guys that are in the audience, I know Jeff said that he asked the question earlier with, is everybody here? Did you just move to a new town, or are you on the new career? I'm curious, are you an experienced realtor? Let's do a survey of the audience. Are you an experienced realtor that is moving or just moved to a new market, or are you a new agent? I want to get a sense of who's in the room. So by 25 years in, Julie, does that mean that you just moved to a new market, but you have 25 years experience? Been a realtor 19 years and moved to a new town. Okay.
Great.
Account agent as of yesterday. Nicely done.
Woohoo!
Brian just moved to a new area, 20 years
I
experience.
need to start over. Been here 20 years.
I
Nice
see lots
guy.
of
Perfect.
about half and half, right?
Nice, yeah.
Cool. So Sharon was an experienced agent in Chicago, right? She worked in Illinois.
Yeah, she had been an agent for about 9 years, and she was doing it kind of.
Darlene, I assume that was supposed to mean full swing, but we're good. We're gonna give you a hall pass. This is a PG-13.
But yeah, so she was living in the north side of Chicago, and she decided to move Arizona, and she joined her team. And in Chicago, her and her partner were doing about 8 or 9 million combined. And now she, based on the strategies that we're going to teach today, she's already done 25 million year to date, which is a decent amount of business, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And here she is 7 years later after moving to the marketplace. Whereas her first full year on our team for moving here, she did 3.5 million in transactions. And so it's not like you move to a town and you do 20 million right out of the gate. That is a hard thing to do. There is a path. There is a hockey stick approach that happens in this business. And so today's points are to lay the groundwork, lay the foundation of what you need in order to grow. And so then we can go the opposite end of the spectrum, though. And Julie Deeds moved here
20 years in the business.
20 years in the business, Indiana broker.
Yes, Indiana broker.
Joins our team less than 30 days ago.
And has 2 escrows already in 30 days. So,
right. So whether it was in 2013, Chris and Cheryl Park, they switched industries from being lenders to
yeah,
being
they were from Northern California, and they moved here at the end of 2015. They were familiar with the industry because they had one worked in relocation and one worked in mortgage. And this year so far, they've done $19 million. Yeah.
But they're
after 4 years later. So what it is these are the stepping stones of what we helped others adopt and are creating massive businesses off of what we do by.
But even non-team members, right? Like on our podcast, which is called The Solution, a real estate podcast, we get on and we chat about industry stuff and we interview different people. We interviewed James Wexler, and he's not a team member, but he told us the story of when he got in the business. He did open houses, and he went 265 days in a row of holding an open house. Which I thought, I mean, and now he's the number one ranked producer in the Phoenix metropolitan marketplace as an individual agent.
Yeah, I think he did 78 million by himself last year.
Right, like the guy's a machine.
So, so the point is we're going to talk about strategies that we use, but we're also going to talk about strategies and comment on strategies that we've learned from other elite performing agents, so that we can pack this class full of stuff. So the median home price in Scottsdale last month was $775. So.
And we have,
but Phoenix, where we sell a lot of houses, it was $342.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we cover the valley, right? We don't have people that are. I mean, yes, we have agents that work in one particular area more than others. But like I said, I've got agents that work in Buckeye. I've got agents that work in Carefree and everywhere in between. So it's about.
Yeah, I mean, one of our top performers this year, Kimberly Child. She lives in north of Litchfield Park, and she's done 40 deals for 8 million. So I mean, it's she's having a breakout year as well. So
yes, awesome.
Okay.
All right, so number one,
meaning this works whether your average price is 150 or 250 or 650. We're about creating sales no matter what, right? Like most importantly, we're trying to create momentum, I think.
Yes.
All
right, so let's talk about meeting new people. It's interesting. I had as we have talked about and taught about how to get out and meet new people, I had to dig for a picture of a masked meeting of people because this is the reality of the world that we live in now, is that we have to be on a mission to meet new people with COVID. And that is an additional element that makes it harder to get face to face with people. But it's absolutely a challenge, no question about it, but that doesn't mean that we can't step up to the challenge.
And know that we're wearing masks when we're outside, but Phil and I both already had COVID, so we feel that we've conquered COVID.
I'm pretty sure you gave it to me.
No, you definitely gave it to me. So
yeah, so we had a fun quarantine. Now we're back, and in our office we have restaurant rules, right? When we're up and about, we wear masks. When we're at our desks or at our station, we don't. But we've got to be on a mission to meet new people.
Yeah, to me, the hard part is, especially when you're a seasoned agent moving to a new city, I don't know that agents take it as important as it is. And that why we were talking about now is that we have to get mentally on board with, it is my full-time job to get out of my chair every day. And that to do that, I think you need to set a goal for yourself. And that each day I'm going to meet 3 new people or 5 new people, because that is hard. Okay. And that unless you're focused and have a plan to go out and meet this many new people each day, you're not going to get there. So why it's number one is that we are in the people meeting business, and this meeting people is going to be in almost no matter what we're doing, of all the 5 things that we're going to discuss today, all of them are centered around, when we're out, we have to be looking to meet people. And if you're an introvert, I'm kind of an introvert, even though that sounds weird, right? But the reality is I had to take on the mindset of social hacking, right? Like I had to, how long of a conversation constitutes a meeting? Enough that you can feel good about, hey, how about I friend you on Facebook? Hey, can I get your number? So it's
an exchange of information, really.
I mean, we're going to get into some of the tactics here shortly about meeting people, but it's let me say it this way. The easiest business that you're ever going to get in real estate is business that is referred to you. And to get business referred to you, you have to establish a relationship. So in the meet new people, you're in the relationship creating business. So it's not just a meeting and move on with people. That's not gonna cut it. It's not gonna work, because then you're just trying to meet people. This is
going deeper.
Yes, this is about making connections with people and finding out who they are and getting into the relationship so that they think of you when they think of real estate.
Given the world that we live in now, I am fully aware that meeting people sometimes happens like this, over the web, right? Like this, technically, I feel like we now have met you guys that are in the room. If you reach out to us and ask us a question, that is developing the relationship that we have, right? And so even though, I mean, this is obviously EXP facilitates this, which kudos to them, but there's Rotary clubs that meet virtually. There's different organizations that meet virtually. And so if you have to start right now with developing those relationships online, and then you take conversations offline, like onto your phone, and then you can establish relationships in person, we're going to give you a few places to go to start.
Okay, yeah. So what it is we want to kind of give you a path. Yeah. On how to meet more people. And I think the first step of that path is you writing down the things that you like to do or you have experience in. So, I mean, we are all realtors, but to me, do we have an outline for this course? We're going through it. I mean, one of the things that we help agents with is learning to take notes, right? Because outlines people don't learn as much from, and that to me, most of these sessions are recorded. Take notes, put your head down. I won't be offended if I can't see your face, but
let me give you the brief outline just to know what the 5 main points are, and that way you can check in. I know there's other sessions that are going on right now. Number 1, we're going to talk about meeting people. Then we're going to talk about how we're documenting that and how we are tracking the communication that we have with the people. Then we're going to get into learning the areas and how we share online what we know about the areas before we get into like your online presence. And then we are going to get into the open house concepts and how we look at open houses a little bit differently these days than a lot of agents that we talk to, and then potentially partnering up with agents that are in the area or joining a team. So that's
number 5 is joining a team.
Yes, so that's the general outline. And right now we're in the different ways that we can actually increase our sphere when we move to a new city. And so Jeff mentioning, take a list of the things that you want to do or that you like to do. I mean, for me personally, I can't help it. When I think about meeting people, I think about the softball team that I joined when we moved here.
Right. So whether it's, to me, I'm just going to name some things that when I hear from other agents, well, I like volleyball, or now I like pickleball because I'm older, and I liked volleyball when I could move fast, but pickleball moves slower. So to me, the idea is, what is a sport that you can join a club that other people that like that sport, right? So the second thing is, what did you do in high school? Like, did you play the flute or did you play the piano, right? Because again, we're trying to look for activities.
But but even book clubs, right? Like non-athletes. You don't have to be an athlete. Like, even if you like to read, I know that there's book clubs out there. My mom is in an investment club,
yes,
right? Where they get together just to talk about investments.
I mean, to me, you have a dog, but the idea is for you to write down and outline these things, because you're going to Google and search for groups that are around the things that you like. And we're going to give you other ideas. If you have, let's say you have no personality and you have no friends and you don't have any pets, and you love to stay at home, you should be a realtor.
Maybe you should be in sales.
Yeah, right? Because this is a sales, this is a contact sport. So this is why we talk about when you're going out meeting people, you're gonna have to be the best version of you. But to me, let's talk about different clubs. So the idea behind the group meeting, choosing a group online, like, so let's say we're, you just lost a family member to cancer and you want to Google groups about, I don't know, childhood cancer. So you would Google that, and then you're looking for groups that have 20 to 50 members, and then groups that meet frequently, and groups that are in the middle of their active season. So because, if it's right now, you're not joining the baseball group, right? Unless you're going to be doing softball and this is the season for it, meaning like if I was going to join a group around the Diamondbacks, it wouldn't be now because they're not in season, right? Like to me, it would be.
Yeah, but you're also not just joining one group.
Right.
Like you may have to join 10 groups because you want to get out and meet people. You want to have a meeting once a week. And if they meet once a month, then you're going to have to join more than one group. So I don't want to limit you to only one group. I mean, we've got a list here that I'm going to run through, but like hiking clubs, golfing clubs, knitting, tennis, book clubs, Rotary. Are there any Rotarians out there? What about starting your own group? Love it, Susie. If you can't find a group of the interest that you have, then start it. Absolutely. And I'm getting crickets on the Rotary app.
Yes.
Jeff. No Rotarians?
Well, I mean,
Okay,
it's kind of, I'm assuming that everybody's under the age of 90 in the group. The reason is Phil's group was the Rotarian. His grandfather was a Rotarian. You Google them. That's how you find the groups. Is why we went through and created the things that we like or interest groups is you Google the name of your city. And so to me, use the word groups, use the word clubs, use the word volunteer, use church groups. I mean, go on Yelp, go on Facebook.
Has anybody used meetup.com? meetup.com. Meetup, yes, thank you. Meetup.com, when you go on there, I mean, depending on what your area is and how active it is, obviously you're going to have different groups, but meetup.com is a great way to get together with people that are interested. If you're not sure what you're interested in, go to meetup.com because it breaks things out in different activities. It tells you what people are getting together and what their interests are. And if it sounds interesting, then join it. And I think the big part of this is that you don't go to these groups and you don't join these organizations with let me go pull business out of it. That mentality isn't the right mentality when you're meeting new people. We have to come from a sense of contribution. You want to go there to contribute to what they're doing. Leverage your strengths. Like if you're a bean counter, if you like numbers, maybe you get into the finance side, or you volunteer to be the treasurer. Or if you like social event, you like putting on social activities, then try to be the social coordinator for a group. Like figure out what your strengths are and how you can match it to what they need so that you come from a contribution mindset, not from I need to pull business out of this.
I mean, pay attention in your city because there is lots of groups that are meeting constantly all over. But this is why is the mental part of this is because your other option is to get a part-time job to meet people. Okay. But real estate's a full-time job. So therefore it's get online and get to work finding these types of activities that you could join.
Yes, have fun.
Yes. Right.
Big part. All right. So now you've met people.
Okay. So number one, now that we've joined, let's go at 7 to 10 different groups. I mean, to me, you got 24 hours in every day. So how you're not joining 6 to 10 groups to I know one of the guys on our team, he joined a what's the golf thing down here?
The golf thing? Top Golf.
Top Golf
Yeah.
Golf League at night, right? And he got a deal out of that. So to me, it might be the dog park, right? Like to me,
that's like the definition of having fun. Like
yes.
You're going to Top Golf to do real estate deals, and it worked. He got it. All right, so let's go on to the document part.
Okay, hold on. Can I add just one more piece?
Yeah.
Like to me, it's you have to be creative. So let's say that because I know that lots of people have pets. I mean, it seems like everybody has a pet. So you can use your pet to meet people, right? Like to me, it's the term I called it was social hacking, and that you can't be the hoodie guy with the
Headphones on.
and walking around neighborhoods, right? Like you have to be, when you see somebody across the street, you have to cross the street and say hi. I just moved to the neighborhood. What's your name? What street do you live on? I'm not kidding, right? Like to me, the second part of it is.
But I slow that down. I slow play that, right? Because like the first time I see that person, I might wave, but then I'm going to strategically go out at the same time the next day.
Okay.
And see if I can strategically see that person again. Right? Like I'm a slow play a little. I'm not as aggressive as you.
I agree. Well, everybody's going to be different. I think the slow play is the better play. But my point is that some point you have to go meet that person, hand out. It doesn't mean you're going to have your business card in their hand. You're just meeting them to be a neighbor. So, I mean, this is going to be a strategy we're going to use in other pieces of this. But the reality is that as we go on to number 2, and that's document, you're going to have to take notes, right? So my favorite note-taking device, you might want to take this down, is the note-taking device on your phone.
The
right?
Notes app?
The Notes app, right?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
so if you have, we're just going to go out on a limb and assume that you have a cell phone and that every phone has a Notes app, but don't be embarrassed to ask them their name, ask them their last name. How do you spell that? Right?
Am I the only one in the room that has a note titled neighbors? And that's where I write down on my phone, like what my neighbors' names are and like what their kids' names are. Or am I the only one that forgets names of people after?
Well, because the thing is you're going to have to get their address, and then, I think it's a good chance for you to stumble upon yourself and be like, you know what? I'm the crazy old school person that likes to send a nice to meet you. Which house are you in? Okay, good deal.
I'm building my Christmas card list.
Yes, yes. Like the thing is that, you know what? I'm planning on being in this neighborhood. The neighborhood directory is okay, but the idea is that you're meeting the people. I don't want to cold. To me, we're trying to be more natural is what we talk about. When you start on neighbors and stuff like that, to me, it's just strange, right? Like to me,
you've got to build.
Social hacking is based on being out and happenstance along meeting people. Why we're joining clubs is because you're going to be introduced to people, and then it's being prepared.
It's based on trust.
Right.
It's based on trust. That's what meeting people is that you don't meet people with immediately trying to pull business out of them. You meet people to establish relationships. You want to have coffee with these people. You want to have lunch with these people. You want to have a beer with these people or a glass of wine, right? Like you want to invite them to your block party that you're going to host, right? It's not about how quickly can I ask them for business.
Right. Have a 5-year mindset with it, right? Now, The reality is business is going to come from it when you don't try to create business from it. Okay. When you lead with a abundance mindset and you lead with a mindset of, I'm just trying to meet you and, hey, I'm going to make a crock pot of chili and I'm by myself and I wanted someone to share with, is Tuesday okay? Right?
You bring your card table out to your driveway.
Yeah.
Right. Sit there by yourself. I'm looking for a friend.
Right. Like walk around with I made lemonade and I can't drink it all myself. Right?
Yes.
Like, can I give it to you?
But that's I hope that you understand that, yes, to have fun. I saw it in the chat earlier. Have fun with it. You have to be social to meet new people. One of the lessons that I took from, does anybody have title companies that you work with in your area, or do you have title reps or lending reps that call you and they're like, hey, do you want to go to lunch, or hey, do you want to go to coffee? Anybody, does that happen outside of Phoenix? Yes, right hand people, sure, yes. So I'd be interested, ask them people, they still do that? Yeah, yes, Philly. I hope you're calling me Philly, that's a nickname. But yes, they still do that. Although we now seem to have more Zoom meetings because of COVID, obviously. But ask them how many lunches they have a day. Ask them how many coffees they have a day. Because when we were meeting with people, with our title reps in person, we would be number 3 lunch for them on the day, and they would only order a side salad or a cup of soup or something small, because they would do back to backs. They would go, hey, I got an 11 to 12 lunch, I got a 12 to 1 lunch, and I got a 1 to 2 lunch. And so for you trying to get in front of people, have the mindset, like buy people lunch that you meet. Hey, where would you like to go? Ask them where they want to go to lunch, because it's a new neighborhood for you and you want to know where the locals go.
The note to take there is you're not looking to go to lunch with industry people.
No, not.
You're not looking to go to lunch with title people. You're not looking to go to lunch with realtors. You're not in the, I'm trying to meet as many realtors. Actually, the goal would be to make if they say they're a realtor, you'd be like, great to meet you, move on. That's a script, right? Because you're not, the thing is another agent is not what this is. You're trying to build your sphere. You're trying to build
of non-realtors,
of people that own houses or need to get out of their expensive rental because rental rates are rising. So, okay, good deal. All right.
As you're meeting the people, I mean, obviously we've already talked about this, and this is going to be a theme that goes through our presentation. And it's the really boring, I hate the word, whenever we bring up database in a class, I feel like we watch the number of users tick down because, oh God, database boring. So we're not going to call it database today. We're going to call it record.
Friendship list.
Document.
Yes.
We're going to say take notes on when you interact with these people.
Right. Like to me, the challenge is, when you're out doing your daily dog walking at 7 o'clock, then 7:30, then 8 o'clock, then 8:30 to make sure you meet all of the dog walkers in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's hard because you need to take an electronic note when you meet them, because you're going to have to go look them up later. And this is the second piece of it. Like after you've done because right now in my neighborhood, people are walking all over the place. Like there's
more people outside.
Yes.
Because they're not at work, right? They don't travel, they're at home, and they need to get out of their quarantined areas.
But it's, when you meet them, they may just be like Dolores, or maybe that you're not going to be great at getting Dolores, Thomas, all of the information, right? Like she might be just a pointer, right? Because sometimes they're just pointers.
What do you mean?
Well, the thing is because you're going to have to look them up in the tax record.
Oh, when you engage them.
When you engage them, you have to take sufficient notes about how to reach them. I mean, fortunately, if you're in a neighborhood, but if you're joining the Cancer Society and you're trying, you guys are going to feed families and you meet a new person, you're going to have to be able to find them in the tax record, or, it's why I like to hey, are you on Facebook? Can I friend you? Okay, well, what's your last name so I can find you? Like, to me, you got to work on these skills of being able to first meet them, but then to document, because you need to find out if they're a renter. And that's why we suggest for you to be like, well, I like to send a thank you note anytime I meet somebody new. What's your address, right? Where can I send it? It's just my kind of way of adding you to my Christmas card list or my holiday list, or however you want to do it.
All right, so I want to comment on Ivy's comment there. Every time you meet someone when appropriate, give a card. So Ivy, if that works for you, do it, rock it. For me, that never worked. That was a blow off. When somebody asked me for a card, I felt like that was the polite way to say, I'm all done talking to you. And so that was an indication to me that I didn't talk about things that mattered to them. And so when somebody asks me for a card, no, that is putting the control in their hands for whether we have a relationship. And so I want to have their contact information. So make sure you work on things to say to flip that script. And one of them being, I don't have a card on me, but can I text you my information? And that way you get some of their contact information. They don't just have yours.
Well, let me just say this way. We've interviewed 1,000 realtors, some successful and some not. And that strategy has not been somebody that does 20 million say I built my business maybe 20 years ago, but in today's world, nobody's building their business by going around handing out cards. So what it is we're just trying to teach you to be more aggressive, because that's a blow off when they say, okay, well, hand me your card, right? They're basically saying get away. And what we're trying to work on is scripts that.
But Ivy might be like, We saw there was a lady on our team who was a very attractive individual, and she would give out cards and people would call her. I
Yes.
was like, that's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. Okay, maybe because I look like Drew Carey, people don't want to friend me.
Yeah.
Yes, right. Okay. Anyway, all right, good
So
deal.
I want to talk about
If it works for you,
use it.
rock it.
Do it.
Yes.
I want to mention, I want to dive in a little bit deeper to Jeff's point about the public tax records. Is in our area, the public tax record system allows us to look, do searches for homeowners on criteria such as when they bought the house, what their first name is. We can draw a map around an area and type in Robert, and it will give us every person named Robert that owns in that area that we drew a shape around, even if that shape is the size of a block, right? And so when he talks about looking them up in the tax records, this is a stalker-ish way.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to use that word. That's a bad word. This is a researcher way to find people's address. And the reason why that matters for a database is because you're going to get to the point where you want to send cards to them. You want to use physical mail to communicate with them, because physical mail is still one of the only things that you can't unsubscribe from.
Right.
Right. People.
But the note here is that you need to get good at searching for people using your tax record system. You have to know the wild cards. You have to learn, like in our system, it allows you to, it gives you a list, it gives you cards, or it gives you a map. So you have to learn to use the tax record as a tool in your belt. So
Yes.
that, because here's the thing is, you're in real estate. I give you permission to know where everybody lives, okay? And now it's your job to figure out everybody that you meet, where they live, whether they're renting or own a house, right? Like, if this is the most important thing, because we need to communicate to these people. And the way we can communicate with them is if we know where they live, because we can mail them because they can't opt out of it.
Yeah. But we also want their phone number. I mean, it is an evolution. It is not a flip of a switch. It's just be intentional on meeting people, and be intentional on documenting the people that you meet and when you communicate with them. As basic as that is that's the point.
And have a goal. Have a goal that at the end of the month, I have to have met 25 new people. If that is your goal every month and you achieve that goal, your business in your new city will skyrocket.
I got one more point before
Okay.
we move on, just
Okay.
because our time, we're about
Yep.
halfway through.
Okay.
So keep in mind that there's going to be people that you meet that don't want to meet you.
Lots of them, actually. That's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in sales.
Yes.
That's okay. That's normal. We're not trying to force everybody that we meet to be our friend. We're trying to meet enough people that we find the ones that we want to be friends with, that we want to have relationships with.
To me, though, early on, I just reading in the chat, I'm talking about texting people and calling people, not just trying to put them on an email list. That's not what we're out here. We're trying to create relationships. You're then, once you friend them on Facebook, you're adding them to, in Facebook, there's a thing called See First, and you can have 25 new people so that you comment on a post. Right.
Yes.
So that, because
You
you're
use
trying
social
to,
media.
you use social media to create, to engage in this relationship. This is not just that, we're not trying to list build here, right? We're trying to relationship build, because that's what will get us business. Because the next piece of it is, I think, well, what are you going to talk to them about that's going to make them think that they should choose you over the other competition?
Area expertise.
Yes, great slide, Phil. Yes. So the thing is you're a real estate agent, and since the thing is I feel like I got to give you lots of jobs, because the second job that I want people, other than being a meat person and then being a document person, is that you need to work
Actually know
on
the area.
Yeah, you actually have to work on it.
I'm going to try to show a video. Let's see if this will work. Bear with me for a second. I'm going to post it in the chat too, in case it doesn't go live here. But for
This is
anybody
the
that
point of this next section.
if for anybody that saw Robert's presentation yesterday, which was awesome, right? He is the
Herkovic,
is that how you pronounce it?
that's what
Herkovic?
they say on the TV show he's on.
Okay, great. I'm gonna go to another slide. Let's go presenter tool, stage zoom. Zoom left web screen. Okay.
When I used to watch TV,
And I'm gonna
I
post
did
the
watch the
YouTube
show
link.
a lot. So.
I'm gonna post the YouTube link here. I'm gonna post it there in case it doesn't play. And now let's click play and see if it works.
You needed a real estate agent, perhaps you do. How would you needed a real estate agent, and perhaps you do. How would you go about finding and choosing one?
That's a great question, and because I love real estate.
Gosh, that's a great question, and because I love real estate. I gotta tell you, if I wasn't in the computer business, I would be in the real estate business. I love real estate. It feels tangible to me. It feels real. Plus, I love going through homes and all of that kind of stuff. And I love the sales aspect of it. You know, what I love about it is, for most people, you are on the journey to what is, for most, the biggest investment they'll ever make. How exciting is that? And how humbling is that? And how much pressure and excitement is that to be involved with somebody at that critical point? So I love what everybody does. I think it's a great industry. How would I find an agent? I would probably look online. I would look in my area. It depends where I was looking to buy. And, you know, I would really try to do my research and find out who knows my area. Because fundamentally, Jason, I want somebody who I feel like I can negotiate. I feel like I'm a pretty good business guy. So what do I want from an agent? I want somebody that knows more than I do. You know what the definition of an expert is? Somebody who's from more than 100 miles away. That's what we always say in the consulting business. But it's true. I want to hire an expert at the area, at that home, at
Thank you. We're back.
We're back.
Hopefully that worked, that you guys were able to hear that, the video. But there was two things that I heard him say there. What were they?
The first thing was that he would search online to find his next agent.
And the next thing was?
He would look for people that were experts
in the area.
Yes.
And this is our whole shtick.
Yeah, I can't believe that there's actually coaches out there that are telling people not to invest in their website. Like I do not understand that the industry has not caught on that this is something that they need to be spending massive amounts of time, and that's first developing expertise and then putting it online. So let's kind of go through it, Phil.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So when you move to a new town, this is your chance. Like, you're now embarking on the exact same thing that 5 years from now, when you're helping people that move to town, what they're going to be going through. And so don't lose the opportunity of all of the organic things that happen to you, like the thoughts that you have about what you think one area is, or what you think the name of something is, or you didn't know that this was that, or I guess I'm looking for like a good example is, I guess for me in Scottsdale.
Don't assume that you know. Do the research to find out what the actual answers are.
Yes, but like in Scottsdale, for example, there's an area called Kierland, right? And Kierland is a very upbeat, popular destination in the Scottsdale area. It's now kind of, the name of it has taken over this whole area that surrounds it with the houses. It's a street with shops that's got fancy shops on it, like Coach and Tesla and all that stuff along it. They have restaurants there. It's a popular place for people to go and hang out. There's I've taken my wife to dinner at the Mission, is a restaurant in there. And so everybody knows Kierland. Everybody knows Kierland. Everybody knows Kierland. And when I first moved here and I first started hearing the name Kierland, Honestly, I thought that it was, I got it confused with one of my favorite brands, Kirkland. And I joke about the fact that I still, to this day, I need to do a video on the fact that Kierland is not a discount Costco brand, right? Kierland is a high-end, upscale, outdoor living area that is a destination here in Scottsdale. And so as you come across things in your town, when you're fresh and you're new, is write down what questions that you have.
Yeah. Okay. So let's put a little more detail about that. So basically, look at an area around you that has about 50 to 100,000. For us,
50 to 100,000 what?
People, population.
Got it.
Okay. So I'm trying to, because that's your whole area. When you're looking at area expertise, for us, it was a half a city. It was the North Scottsdale section. But to me, you're looking for the key areas of that demographic, and then you're looking for the segments. For instance, if you're in New York City, it would be Little Italy, and it would be Chinatown and downtown and uptown. If you're in Arizona, it would be master plan cities. For us, it was Greyhawk and DC Ranch and Troon, right? So I was from Pennsylvania. So if you're in the small town, because I was from a small town, a small mountain town, as I connected with someone before the show about, but I lived in Jim Thorpe and it had 6,000 people. So that's not big enough. So to me, then I had Lehighton, which had 15,000 people, and Summit Hill that had 4,000, and Hazleton that had 25,000, and Palmerton, and Bowmanstown, and Lansford. So these were the small towns, which were kind of like the subdivisions in the big city. But the idea is, okay, now that I got these areas, now I need to help people that are trying to move to those areas. What is going to interest them, because I need to understand the first, as being an area expertise, I need to know the supply for that area. I need to know how many sold, and then also
supply.
3 years of prices. Go ahead.
Supply, meaning you need to know like stats.
Right. You need
number of listings.
Right. How many homes are currently available in each, to me, you can either develop the area overall, like I was describing Carbon County. So that was the area, but whatever the area is that, so that
But you also, and then when you talk about demand, because you talk about knowing the stats, knowing supply, and knowing demand. And demand, you talk about how many houses sold last month, last year.
Yeah, and in this case, you want to now, because you can look up what were the prices 3 years ago, what were the prices, like
2
to
years
me,
ago.
yeah, to me, you should take, because this is all data that you can get out of your MLS, right? Supply and demand are current, and prices is a trailing. But when you're talking about the area, you want to know, is the area appreciating or depreciating, so that when you're going out and learning the actual area, because you're going to be talking to people, you want to have already done some research, because you don't want to be uninformed when talking, because it's what Mr. Rourke was talking about in the main session today, is you're a full-time realtor. Every single day, you better know your market stats about that area, so that at least you have go-tos when talking about people, about the different, because you're looking for the different activities in that area that is interest people. So are they moving to Jim Thorpe for the Catholic school there? Are they moving, how good is the public school there? So is it, the special high school, those are the things that we should then research, but then write about. And that's where people struggle. It's not just knowing the market stats, but you're in the business, because I think this one, Phil, is work on your online presence, is then the word we like to use is blog, but it's just simply a research article, like you were in 8th grade and you're writing about your parents, except now you're writing about Jim Thorpe schools, and you're going to write an article for 300 to 400 words of
And part of that research paper might be you going to visit the school.
And taking a picture while you're there, or 4 pictures of kids walking into the school, and then adding that with your write-up so that,
or talking to the principal or talking to the secretary, and now you know that person's name. If it's Carol behind the desk in your article, I think it's very important. Storytelling is very important in our world when it comes to publishing this type of material online. And Curtis has a storytelling session tomorrow that I'm looking forward to going to. But you've got to be a storyteller. And when you talk about Carol at Desert Shadows Elementary School, that detail alone puts you in that school.
right, it also gives you an opportunity to shoot a video of, oh my God, I'm so excited because I'm going to meet with Carol, who is the vice principal at Jim Thorpe High School. Let me see what she says. And then if you can get her a little quote from her in a little video, add that to your article. This is the stuff that will be found online. Then you have you and you have the principal, and now people aren't asking you, do you know about the area, because they can see it online.
Yes, and I joke about this, but the more content you publish online about your area, your information, your video, your articles, photos that you take, the faster somebody can learn whether they want to work with you or not without wasting any of your time. And there's a that's the punchline, is that you be you. It's okay to be you, because when you meet with people, you're gonna be you. And so it's nice when you put that content out online so that they can find out earlier if you're not the right person for them, rather than them wasting your time and calling you and you schedule a meeting and then them not working with you. So don't be afraid to push the stuff out online.
Yeah, I mean, this was our project. We've worked on it. We had phase 1, which was we started in the north half of the city. Then phase 2, we made it a bigger area. And then we continue to add to this. And that's talking about the area information that people can find online. And the reality is we generate about, $70 million worth of business online because we've put in the time on these projects. It has been the cornerstone of what we do, is because unequivocally, when people find you in action videos, are you going to play the video from the Arcadia?
Yeah.
We'll show you a video in a little bit, but you don't have to talk about it when they can find it online in videos, in pictures, and in words. And we want custom stuff that you wrote. We want your opinion of what you saw when you were out doing the research online.
I know I planned on getting the KV Core question. I think that you guys can do this on KV Core. Our website is not powered by KV Core, but when we started, we had a website very similar to KV Core. Because what you got to do is you're a full-time realtor. Jeff already talked about this. When I think about a real estate agent that gets into the business and is starting over, or moving to a different town and starting over, I think about how much time, energy, and effort you have to get yourself up and running. And the only way that I can put it in perspective is if I think about starting a restaurant, right? If I think about how much time, energy, and effort that it would take for me to open a restaurant, and how I would have to grind 80 hours a week in order to get that thing up and running and make sure that it survived, that it thrived. If I take that mindset and I apply it to real estate, then I just saw a comment about such good info for a team, but it's not just about a team. This is you, the entrepreneur. You have 80 hours a week easily that you can put into making sure that your business succeeds. And so you have to be a time manager of how much time you're going to spend on meeting people, how much time you're going to allocate after you meet people to document that, how much time you're going to spend to learn the area, how much time you're going to have to spend to document that, because that's really all we're talking about on the web, is documenting what you learn while you're out there previewing houses and reviewing neighborhoods and doing the research.
This is 100% about an individual agent. So, it just happens when you do it great, you create a lot of momentum, right? All it was is in 2008, it was just me. It was a band of one over here, this guy right here. And I was just writing information about areas online.
On Active Rain.
Right.
For anybody that's been in the industry, for you guys remember Active Rain, right?
Right. So, I mean, to me, it's similar. Like when my first car was a 78 truck, right? So it doesn't matter where you start, because then I moved on to a new truck and now I drive a nicer, you know what I mean? Like, so when you start, that's why we suggest KV Core, because it's free with EXP. So just start doing it there.
You can add custom pages to KV Core. You can add blogs to KV Core. When you shoot videos, you're going to add them to YouTube, and then you can embed YouTube videos on your KV Core website. So don't think that there's any hiccups that you have from right now to begin the rhythm, the habit that you are going to create in yourself of publishing content. I want to give a couple of ideas. Like in our area, there are some specific questions that I want to give you to help you guys with content ideas. And one of them is, what price point can I get a 3-car garage? And what,
like using the Jim Thorpe example, meaning if you're looking for a 3-car garage in Jim Thorpe, it's going to cost you $175. And in Lehighton, if you're looking for a 3-car garage, the price point starts at $220. And at Palmerton, right, stuff like that.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, or in South Scottsdale, at what price point do I get inside laundry or carport laundry? Right? Like there's area specifics that you are going to identify when you're out there previewing houses. If you see 25 listings a week, you're going to start to understand at what year did 8-foot ceilings go away and now you've got 12-foot ceilings, right? Some of those
Right.
ideas.
Do I get a double wide at that price point, or do I get a custom house, right? So,
Yes. I mean, for us, when we started to do some of the maps, like I've got a map of Arcadia here on our next slide, and then we're going to show you the video that we did. But to me, this is
a map from our website.
So this is our research project on this community called Arcadia. And I just went to Google Maps or something. I don't remember exactly what tool I used to draw these shapes on the map. But the hard part was learning where these shapes were. And it was so funny because after I built this map, and we published it online. I didn't have the section that says people who say they live in Arcadia on it when I rolled it out.
That's Phil's dry humor, though.
Yeah, Arcadia's a nice area. Like a lot of people that live around Arcadia.
Anybody close to there says they live in Arcadia.
And so we published the first map that didn't have that. And I'm dropping off I have a 8-year-old, 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And I'm dropping off my littles at daycare. And the receptionist there goes, "Hey, you work on the Sibbach.com website." Actually, she probably said, "You work on Sibbach.com website."
Sibbach,
right?
yes, yeah. Correct.
And I said, "Yeah, I do." She's like, "I was looking at your Arcadia map, and I live in Arcadia, but it wasn't on your map. Like your map didn't surround where I live." And I said, "Oh, well, where do you live in Arcadia?" And she told me what the streets were where she lived. And I thought, well, technically that's not Arcadia, but that empowered me to add this section around it that said, people who say they live in Arcadia. So
but that's the local knowledge that you're trying to extract from your city to put online to be a little bit real, REAL, meaning that it's not copy the, go to the school district and just copy that map. It's look like you're in the real estate business, because what should realtors know? They should know school districts, and they should know neighborhood boundaries, and they should know price ranges, and they should understand when you cross this creek, you now are in Lower Arcadia. Oh, that creek happens to be the waterway which created in 1919 Arcadia border.
All right. Whew, I feel like we got to slow it down for a second here.
How about questions?
We're going to take questions, but we have
Okay.
another video.
More videos. Okay, good.
Before I show the Arcadia video, I just want to set you guys up. This video was produced last year, maybe the year before.
Or maybe 3 years ago.
Okay, let's go 3 years ago. After we had already exhausted most of our crappy videos.
Right. We had shot about, I'm going to go with in the range of 600 to 700 crappy videos. Yeah. And that after creating a couple hundred videos, you tend to get a little bit better. We started GarageBand, and now because we, the video was, all the content for the video was found by myself online. The script for the video, we created the script for the video, and then we did hire a
Do you remember, like, some of our most popular videos are the golf course videos that the intern created for us.
Yes.
And they're just bad.
Yes.
But they're still.
If you Google us, you can find some really horrendous videos. Actually, some of them are on our website as well.
Yeah.
We do love GarageBand. We love but this is a video that we hired a drone guy because at the time, but take a look.
I'm gonna try to jump over and do this like I did the Robert video. Hang on one second. Copy. I'll post it in the notes too. Copy link address. Here, send. Go screen zoom. I'm gonna mute my mic this time.
Yeah. One thing that makes Arcadia great is its great public schools, starting with Hopi Elementary and Ingleside. Arcadia High School is the cornerstone, but it's also super close to the top-rated private schools, such as Phoenix Country Day, Brophy, and Xavier. You cannot help but be drawn to this neighborhood because of the irrigated lots, creating the grass-lined streets, an appeal that is found nowhere else in the valley, reminiscent of a Midwestern town in the middle of the desert.
Hi, I'm Gilbert. I'm part of the Sibbach team, one of the working agents here in Arcadia, and I call Arcadia home. This is in front of one of my favorite restaurants, Steak 44. Great food, and don't be surprised if you run into some professional sports personnel. It's a great area. People love this restaurant. They call it home. Arcadia is a highly sought after area, and we'd love to find you the perfect home here.
Arcadia is full of great nightlife and entertainment. We're here at one of Arcadia's most popular restaurants. The food is fabulous. Postino's. Actually, I'm here for happy hour looking for Phil. La Grande Orange is a must visit when visiting Arcadia, or even if you're a local resident looking to walk or bike to a place to eat, whether it's for lunch, breakfast, or dinner. If you're looking for a tip, go with the vegetarian pizza. It's one of my favorites. We're on a quiet street in Arcadia, a typical street, except that this home was the home of the director of Jaws, Indiana Jones, Steven Spielberg. I mean, he directed E.T. You could even see it now as he rolled up on his bicycle with an alien in the basket. But I mean, this is what we see throughout Arcadia. Is quiet streets, families playing outside, obviously a place that you'd like to call home. When you're looking for your next Arcadia home, or maybe looking to get out of your last Arcadia home and into the new one, visit sibbach.com. We're ready to help you with you.
Thank you. Let's answer some of the questions that we got during the chat. Hello. Let's see. Sorry, I see you said international. Jane, I think YouTube sometimes has a challenge playing with international, so we're back. Hopefully you're still with us. How do you research the info for the video?
The first, you go out and you drive around the neighborhoods, right? To me, if you saw, what I was really focused on was I was finding the most popular restaurants,
Hold on. Hold on. You guys understand that this is our opinion. I want to make sure that that's clear, that we come across in a confident, this is exactly what the answer is mentality on the video, but these are our opinions of what is the most popular restaurant, of what's the best pizza. And that's what I want to make sure that you're understanding. When you're researching your areas, know that whatever you want your opinion to be, when you come out strong and you say what your opinion is, it gives you credibility.
But this is our definition of content. Whether you take pictures when you're out at the schools, I mean, that's all I was doing there is I'm in front of Arcadia High School. It was just a video to make it more interesting. But all of this information is easily found online. I mean, to me, the information about Steven Spielberg was just in every time I was just out working. All I was doing was just working. And whenever I heard, because when I would preview homes down in Arcadia, somebody said once, and then they said it again, and they said it a third time. And I was like, okay, he obviously lived there. I went online and researched where did Steven Spielberg live, and it's not the house he lived in, right? Like
It's close.
It's close though.
It's arguable.
Yeah,
It's
right.
arguable.
Because it's kind of close to that area. But I mean, the
I
idea.
never knew that. I thought you said you found the tax records.
I'm not sure if it is. I
Okay,
think
alright.
I found the actual house. I think it's the house.
Okay.
If someone said that it's the one next door. I mean, I worked my butt off
My mind
to
is blown
look
right now.
I worked my butt off to find where Muhammad Ali lived and where it's Michael Phelps lived, because we had a city. And actually the funny thing was I thought that would be more searched, but what actually happened is the school district information, the eating places, the information, the actual community information went off better than I thought. The star kind of makes the video fun, but we have people that come to our website, watch. I mean, we had a lady that watched 38 videos, she said, and then she bought a house from us for $2.5 million just because she was watching the videos about the areas. Most of this information is just found from a Google search, through MLS, through the tax record search.
I'm gonna couple how you research the area with meeting people, because when Jeff and I did a door knocking project in Greyhawk and we did a survey, and we were trying to figure out how much people paid for flood insurance. And we knocked on doors and asked homeowners what the answer was to the question. And so we accomplished two things in one stroke, and that was meeting new people. We did hand out business cards, but also we got information from locals about the area, so that when we were talking to our clients about how much the flood insurance was, we get to come with the story of knocking on 100 doors to ask to get the average, and here's the lowest cost company that we found.
And then we sent a thank you note to the guy, and then 3 months later, I listed the house, and now we sold that guy 2 houses. So the idea is that while you're out doing your project, you're talking to people, you're meeting people, and you're engaging to create relationships. So
all right, we're gonna push fast forward. We're gonna get to the next topic. So open houses with a vengeance. I mean, the reason why we included James Wexler's story in the beginning of, thank you, Jasmine, you're
very kind.
Yeah,
yes,
we think you're unbelievably good too.
The video cost $500 total.
All right, open houses with a vengeance.
Because we did the research, right? Because this is your job to go out and do the stuff. Not the problem is the video guy can't do all that research.
The video guy just makes your content look good.
Yeah.
But you got to come up with the content. Don't hire a guy. I mean, the guy, his name is Jeremy, and he had a drone. And so I don't even know what his company's name is.
No, it's just a drone guy.
He was a friend of a staff member.
He was shooting our drones for our houses, and then we just said, "Hey, can you meet and do an area video over this area?" But I had to give him the directions. I had to give him all the information.
It was our script where we said, I can see it now, as he was riding, playing on his bike on the street. And then he put the creative piece in of E.T. in the basket, which was great.
Yeah, that was above and beyond. Because we hired him to do 12 videos, he threw a little extra in there, and it turned out pretty good. So,
do you guys want to answer any other questions about that? I do want to talk about how open houses are.
We need to talk about open houses. Yes.
And even door knocking before an open house is a part of the open house strategy.
Right. So, it is actually the cornerstone of meeting more people, because you don't want to rely just on your open house traffic, but because you should identify open houses on Monday and Tuesday. Do not, you're being lazy if you're waiting Thursday or Friday, because you need to get the marketing out online, on Zillow, on Trulia, on Realtor.com, by putting it in your MLS that shares it with these sites early. But then also because you got to plan Thursday and Friday 4 to 6 or 5 to 7 so that people are home. You create a flyer and then you say, hey, here's the script. We're going to do a lot of marketing for the open house. And when we do a lot of marketing, not everybody wants to buy that house. I'd like you to come by, but if they don't buy that house, would you sell yours, right? And then you're going to send them a thank you. You hand them a card if you want at that point or whatever. But the idea is that if you knock 100 doors for every open house, you're going to meet 8 to 10 more people, because this is your job. Get out there and start to meet more people, and then invite them to your open house, because now you're building that relationship. Because if you meet at your front door, it's kind of awkward. Just being honest, right? When you knock on the door and you invite them to the open house, they're kind of, stand behind the door. They kind of open it up a crack. You hand them a flyer. But when they come to the house, they're at your open house, and now you got meeting number 2, because marketing is not a one-time event, and then you're sending a thank you as well. So now you got 3 touches, and what do you know? It's kind of like we're building a relationship here, right? Because you're gonna text them after if there's anyone interested in their house. Oh, what do you know? Relationship building, Phil.
You went through a lot.
Sorry. Yeah.
I hope this is being recorded, so because obviously this is not an hour and a half, and now you got it right. Like, you guys take notes and come back to them. It's funny, my first note about open houses is how you find an open house, right? In our marketplace, you can only hold EXP listings open. So for you, and when you're moving to a new town, you have to stock EXP agents to figure out who has the listings and who holds them open, and maybe go after the ones that have listings that don't hold them open, or ask to come visit the listings. Sorry, I got to sneeze. Going away. Visit the listings that if the agents are holding them open, go visit them in person. Get to know the other EXP agents so that you're not a cold call when you're calling, asking for them to, when you're trying to get them to allow you to open their house. Let you be a real person that you've interacted with them at their open house.
Right. Don't be I emailed a couple of agents and nobody responded, right? Text them, call them,
visit them in person.
Right. Like, be aggressive in making sure, because you need open houses. That is part of your leverage point for you to meet more people.
And it's come from a place of contribution when you're chasing these agents to sit them open. Maybe that agent doesn't door knock ahead of time to get more traffic to their open house, but you can help them out with that. Right? You're new in this business. You're the student in this new town that you just moved to. So you've got to come out with different ways of how you can help the people that have business, so that maybe they have, because they might even have leads they don't want to work.
Yeah, to me, you have to let them know that you're going to be an asset. Just at the end of the report, I'll give you how many people came. I'll give you total sets of people that came. I'll give you feedback from the open house so that they can give it to their seller. Because if you do a crappy job and not give them the information, then they don't want, again, this is a place coming from abundance, and like, I'm going to help. I want to be a resource to you because you're new to that city, and everybody, their sellers want more activity in their house. And when you do a great job, they're going to want you to do it again. And that's what you're looking for, is your opportunity for opportunity.
This breakout session is an hour and a half. We're wrapping up here in the next 7 minutes, just to answer that question. All right, so have open house signs that have your name on them, please. I know that it is very easy to order generic eXp Realty open house signs, but when you're trying to brand yourself, You're trying to get your phone to ring. You're trying to get your website to have visitors. You want to use those mini billboards that you get to put out around town to help you, not just the brokerage. Don't get me wrong. The reason why we give back so much inside of EXP World is because we're all owners of this company. We want to see more EXP signs out there, but you got to have your name on that sign. You want people to Google your name when they see it on the corner every single weekend. It looks like you are the one that knows about the area. I hope that they're being recorded and it's going to be posted in the EXPCon YouTube playlist. That's where I found the recording of the Robert video that I spliced that piece out of. So anyway, steer away, invest in probably 10 more open house signs than you
Thank you, Alyssa.
than you think you want to buy.
Lisa.
Get 10 more open house signs than you think you should have. So if you thought that you should have 10, then get 20. If you thought
You mean because they get destroyed and they get damaged and you lose them?
No, because this is your chance to put your name on the corner around town. And I'm not talking about, don't put 5 signs on one corner. I mean, get a big, wide range. Like if you thought that you were going to have open house signs in this size area with your 10 signs, then why not get 20 signs and have open house signs in this size area? And you know what happens? People take signs, people kick them.
And don't put too much writing on your sign. Sorry. That's my pet peeve is people putting too much writing on signs and people can't understand that. So, all right.
Okay, visitors. Let's see. Just reading through the notes.
Okay, we got one more. Let's get to the last one.
Partnership,
All
yeah.
right. All right. So if you're in a new city and you're struggling and 1 through 4 isn't working for you, our suggestion is to join a team. And the reason why you want to join a team is because to me, you want to be strategic about what team you join to make sure that they have listings and that they sell houses. You're not there to rely on your database to make that team better. To me, you want to look for a team that has they got to have. You're looking for someone that has 15 listings or 20 listings or 30 listings because that's your opportunity. Also, because you know that there's going to be calls that are going to come in. But the thing is it's okay to be forthright in your interview and be strategic. So, okay, who gets the rental leads? Because if you're new to the city, it's a good idea to start working rental leads because rental leads to more business. Secondly, who gets the sign calls? I mean, when you're in the interview, ask them who gets the sign calls, okay? And then the third question I would ask is, okay, who's the good agents when they're too busy, right? Who works their leads, right? So the other question you want to ask team leaders when joining a team is how much do they spend on leads? Do they get Zillow leads? Do they get Realtor.com leads? Do they get HomeLight leads? Do they spend money on Google pay-per-click? Are they spending money to generate leads off their sphere that they're then going to give to you? And then the question is how many leads are you going to get? Am I going to get 5 leads, right? If you're new, 3 to 5 may be the starter pack that you get, right? But if you're a seasoned agent, you should be getting 10 to 15 leads a month from these agents. I mean, the thing is you're paying a split. They need to be providing that value.
I hope that it was clear that we're inbound marketers. We don't have agents that join our team and then we just give them a dialer and a list and cold call.
We don't call that leads. That's called BS.
That's a burnout position that anybody does. They're looking to get out of doing that as fast as they can, right? We're about trying to attract business to us. And so when you're interviewing teams, make sure that you understand whether you're interviewing to be a cold caller or you're interviewing to be a team member where you help them with the leads that they have as inbounds. So, anyway, guys,
the third piece in joining a team though is also training. Make sure that they're going to help you, train you to convert these leads. So what are they doing to invest in you? The elite teams spend a lot of time invested in their agents, and that your team leaders should be investing in you by providing additional training like we're providing today in how to get after it. So
I'm going to post the link to the podcast where we had James Wexler on. Thank you, Alyssa, for the question. It's called the Solution to Real Estate Podcast. This happens to be the Apple
and
website.
on Thursdays, if you go to is it agenttruth.com? You can see a link to the
Oh,
solution.
no, Sibbach, if you go to, we host a public Zoom room every Thursday at 1 o'clock Arizona time. And so right now it's Mountain Standard Time. And if you want to join us in a public Zoom room where we have an open forum where we talk about topics of the week, go to sibbach.com/careers. And at the bottom of that page, you can put in your phone number and we'll shoot you a text message when we go
I'll
live.
put Sibbach.com careers in
Yeah,
there.
sure.
Okay, so to wrap up, first, it is your job to meet people. And that think about the more time that you're sitting at home in front of if you're sitting at home in front of your computer, you better be researching stats and you better be researching areas. If not, you need to be out meeting people. Secondly, make sure that you document all of your communication electronically because you're in the relationship business. Number three, start to be an area expert. Begin learning about supply, demand, prices, and then learn about the areas and then put it online. Number four, open houses are the key to meeting people that are in the buying process, and that's why we want to meet them. And then lastly, if you are struggling out there, teams have lots of opportunities if they're buying leads and they're listing houses so that you can jump on board and grow faster.
Thank you, guys.
Know that you're going to pay a split for joining a team, 50-50 on buyer leads, maybe 60-40, and then 70-30 on listings.
11:30, man.
But they're spending the money.
We
Okay.
hit the mark.
Okay, good
We hit the
deal.
mark. Reach out to us if you guys have additional questions.
Thank you.
We're on Workplace. That's probably the best chat bot that we have. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yay.
Yay.
Alyssa, do you know who we have next up in this room?
Yes.
We could intro them.
Yes, it is.